way more pathetic than it had to be otherwise. And with that done, we've completed the entire game without swapping formations.
Well, this sure wasn't expected, but you've asked and I, resident Heroes enthusiast, will have to answer. You really thought I was gonna stop at Team Sonic? Nah, I don't think I've suffered enough. We gotta go for full completion here. For those who are new, my previous video asked whether or not it's possible to beat Sonic Heroes using only one character per level. This format gave me some leeway when it came to different levels, while still ditching the game's most fundamental principle.
The real superpower of teamwork!
Unfortunately, we ran into two dead stops by the names of Hang Castle and Bullet Station. Sonic truly was the MVP for the run, carrying most of the stages on his own with his complex moveset, but when going into Team Chaotix, I kinda figured this run would be shot in the foot, since SBO can't perform the tornado jump, lightspeed attack, or many other platforming tech that Sonic could. That, combined with the mission-based structure of their levels, led me to believe I'd be stuck almost immediately and wouldn't have any juicy content for you guys. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. Thanks to some new glitches only possible with Team Chaotix and Rose, I've been able to carve out a run that will blow your minds. The only thing is, you'll need to prepare yourselves for a lot of this. Same as the previous video, we'll be playing on the GameCube version of Heroes, meaning some physics tricks can't be performed like the super glide or being able to scale vertical walls, essentially this game's super bounce. Thankfully, I've been able to reach out to someone who, like me, may have spent a little too much time breaking this game. Lifting Up My Muscles, or Lummy, who you may know from their footage in Nathaniel Bandy's video, was kind enough to work with me on this project, and was able to abuse the god-awful physics in the PC version to complete some sections that can't be done on console. The only rule for this challenge is that I can only use one character per stage, making our teammates useless. That is, unless you count using Team Blast or using your teammates as projectiles, which I won't be for the sake of this challenge. So, without further ado, let's see if you can beat Team Chaotix without your teammates. Seaside Hill thankfully starts this run with very little challenge. The mission here is to collect 10 hermit crabs, when the stage has a total of 20. This means we can miss half and still complete the stage. I went with Vector here because many of the crabs can only be found by breaking rocks. The saving grace of Vector's moveset is his belly flap, allowing us to make some jumps that otherwise wouldn't be possible. If you jump down after this first hill, you'll find an extra life and a hermit crab patiently waiting to be collected. The rest are mostly on the main path. Just use Vector's belly flap to reach higher areas and try to stay on the top paths to find your collectibles. You can also use the belly flap to reach this guy up here, and then it's off to the first island section. Use the cannon to shoot across this platform and backtrack to collect this crab. The best news about these missions is, if you die, your progress saves, meaning when you start from the previous checkpoint, you won't have to recollect the objects you already grabbed. Otherwise, this stage is a breeze, ending just before Team Sonic's bobsled section. If you miss any on the way here, there's still plenty that you're able to grab as Vector after this, making Seaside Hill easily doable as Vector only. Ocean Palace was a stage that we could only beat with Knuckles, as he's needed to punch the various doors throughout the level. This means we'll be attempting the level with Vector. The mission here is to find and rescue a Chao at the end of the level, meaning we just have to make our way through the stage without any roadblocks. Everything was pretty smooth, as the level's mostly designed around the power formation with these rocks, breakable doors, and fans to glide on. I figured this level wouldn't be a problem at all until this door. These flowers present a huge problem for us. The gimmick with these is that they're meant to be pollinated with Charmy, opening them up to be used as teleports to another section of the level. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to open them with another character, and this wall can't be circumvented with Vector. Any sane person would have just given up here, but the hero's siren song beckoned to me to find a way, as I'm truly never done with this game. I scoured the internet for glitches and speedrun tricks and stumbled upon something interesting. With Charmy, you can thundershoot twice, and if you flight boost at the right time, Vector will fly off behind you. If you happen to flight boost at the exact same time he returns, your flight meter resets, allowing you to fly higher and farther. This trick is insanely precise and requires the right setup and timing. Well, that's good news for us, because we'll have to perform this trick, I don't know, about 1,000 times in this playthrough. I'll spare your ears for most of the video, but just for context, this sound made up over half of this run. So, restarting the level with Charmy, it's pretty slow, but very easy. When you come up on one of these doors, just perform the flight reset glitch as many times as it takes until you can pass over the invisible wall. Since we can't break open the door to reach the flower, flying over this wall leads us to the turtle section, which Team Chaotix never actually has to go through. The interesting thing is, there's recorded dialogue for this section, meaning it was originally planned for this team, but must have been cut late in the development.
What a huge turtle.
Wow! He's swimming!
He may be able to take us somewhere.
You'll have to perform the glitch a few more times to cross some of these gaps, but it's not too tricky to pass as Charmy. The rest of the stage is super straightforward until the end, where we just have to kill the enemies and rescue the Chao. There he is! Just gotta break this crate. Oh god, no. This crate can only be broken with Vector, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't clip into the sides to reach the Chao. All that work just to be slapped in the face by an unbreakable crate. I'm getting flashbacks to Hang Castle. Out of sheer curiosity, I wonder what would happen if I flew up to the Rock Chase section from Team Sonic's level. I mean, the turtle segment was left in, so maybe there would still be a goal ring at the end. I used the flight glitch again to reach the dash ring, and surprisingly the rock section was left unchanged. It's a pain in the ass to get through this with Charmy, but we managed to finally do it. Arriving at the end, we actually see the goal ring still there, and what a beautiful sight. Turns out that touching the goal ring functions the exact same as collecting the Chao. We beat the stage, and the game counts it as if you completed the mission normally. Okay, if every level's gonna take this kind of patience and creativity, I've got my work cut out for me. Same with Team Sonic, the boss fights are pretty simple. Just pick your poison and spam them till they go down. Vector's gonna be my go-to here, so just chase him down or wait for him to come to you and smash him to bits. Grand Metropolis is a level I was a bit worried about. This mission requires you to kill all 85 enemies in the stage. Sonic was able to make quick work of this stage, so I'll give a shot to Espio. Thankfully, you're given a level up at the beginning, which makes things a lot easier. The first section is just some homing attack chains and some light platforming. Coming up on this pathway, they actually removed it for Chaotix, expecting you to fly over with Charmy. Just rocket excel jump as far as you can, then air dash on top of this railing. You can't actually land on it to jump again, but the collision will push you far enough to land on the next platform if you line it up just right. After that, it's straightforward until this area. The game wants us to use Charmy to open the flower and teleport to the next section, but SBO understands the mission. Just rocket excel jump over to this platform and grab the extra life the game graciously gives you. Thankfully, they left this door open for the next section. Once we get to the cannon section, the game expects you to use power formation to aim the cannon and kill the enemies. Looks like we need to break out the SBO blast. This thankfully reaches the enemies up top and allows us to move on. This enemy's kinda hard to reach, but you can take it out by jumping off the wall or just spamming the air dash until it goes down. This wall is a little too high to jump over, but if we backtrack and use the slant on the walkway, we can jump high enough to triangle jump over it. The rest of the level's a straight shot, just stopping to homing attack every enemy along the way, and we finally make it to the end, letting us beat Grand Metropolis as SBO only. Knowing Power Plant's a stage chock full of vertical platforming, I opted to use Charmy here. The mission requires you to kill 3 of the 5 total golden turtle bots found in the stage. Not gonna lie, I have no clue how to open these cages. Every time I played this level, I just saved up a team blast to kill them. Either there's hidden switches nearby to open them, or that's just what the game expects you to do. Since platforming is super easy here with Charmy, just find all 3 and take them out. The first one's right on the main path, the second one's on the top route near these targets, and if you hit 4 of these targets, they'll give you a team blast. And the third one can be found on the bottom path of this vertical platforming section. Power Plant is very easily beatable as Charmy only. By now, y'all know the deal with these team battles. On GameCube, you can win these in less than 30 seconds by spamming the tornado attack, so just stick with SBO here and it's over in no time. If you remember my Team Sonic challenge, Casino Park was one of the hardest levels to beat without swapping characters. We had to find some crazy wall clips and use some really precise glitches to skip certain segments. Well, with Team Chaotix, it's the polar opposite. This mission requires you to collect 200 rings and places you right next to a pinball table with slot machines. This level's easily beatable with any character, but I want to use Charmy to show off a fun little trick. Make your way to the left side of the table and fall down to this cannon. Enter the cannon as Charmy and start flying once you get shot out of it. If you thundershoot into the slot machine, then turn around and face the correct direction, these slots will spam repeatedly until you hit your goal. Look, is Sonic Heroes a broken game? Yes. Is Sonic Heroes my favorite game of all time?
Yes!
Casino Park was super easy, but Bingo Highway won't let us off the hook so easy, as we have to collect 10 potato chips. These potato chips are scattered throughout the stage, some of which are on the bingo slides, meaning you need to move precisely to reach them. Thankfully, there's more than 10 in the level, but the question is, which character can we do all this with? We need Vector to glide on this fan at the beginning, but he can't pass the platforming section about a minute into the level. That means we get to hear a lot more of this. Fly up to the first platform, then do it again to fly over the building, as you need Vector to break the glass. Once you reach this table, it's pretty simple in terms of platforming. For the potato chip locations, here's a guide to collect the first 10. The first chip is in plain sight at the beginning. Collect the second chip before flying over the building. Grab the third one below this table. Make sure you get both potato chips on this bingo slide. Fly up top here to grab this one. There's one on the top path here, and then one down below on the table. Use the pinball flippers to reach this one, and the last one's on the main path. With that, Bingo Highway's beatable as Charmy only. Am I crazy or am I kinda starting to like Charmy in this game?
Chips? You mean potato chips?
I mean, yeah, he's annoying, but some of his lines are kind of adorable. Maybe I just have Stockholm Syndrome with this game. Robot Carnival is more of the same. Just use your preferred character to take down the robots, but this time there's one hilarious addition. When you perform a team blast, you collect rings for every enemy you kill. Those rings count towards your next team blast, meaning the meter's usually partially or completely full again once it's done cooling down. That makes these enemy gauntlets both pathetically easy and hilarious. Rail Canyon is a bit of an odd one for the Chaotix, as the objective is just to get to the goal ring, but the stage layout is quite a bit different, using Team Dark's intro and then adding their own section near the end. The first minute or so is possible with SBO, as you can rocket excel jump across this gap, and the rest is just grinding rails. It all comes to an end once you reach this section, as Charmy's needed to open this flower, and there's no way to cross this wall with SBO. Starting the level over as Charmy, we get to see just how fun rail grinding is in the flight formation. I mean, you can hold the crouch button, but you literally get no speed boost from it, so this is going to be a slog. Once the intro ends, just pollinate this flower and flight boost to reach the upper path. This section has a flower blocked off by lasers, but to disarm them you have to break these barrels to hit all 3 switches, something only Vector can do. This means we need to use the flight reset glitch a few more times to reach the next area. Other than that, this level's pretty simple. Just grind the rails as usual, and try to get Charmy to level 2 so he can take out the robots in one shot. Flip the switches in the puzzle section and slowly grind your way to the goal ring, making Rail Canyon possible as Charmy only. Oh boy, Bullet Station is gonna be a long one. So, the mission here is to break these capsules. You're only required to break 30, so you can get away with missing a good amount of them. Only problem is, Vector's the only character you can break them with. Not even a Team Blast works, so let's see how far we can get with Vector. The first part's pretty easy, just break the capsules down below, then belly flop to get back on the rail to reach the higher section. The cannon down below won't shoot you to the upper path unless you're using SBO or Charmy, so this route's needed to get back to the top. Get through the next section, breaking every capsule along the way, and then grind your way down to this section.
What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Well, we know the run ended here with Team Sonic, as the tornado poles are needed to cross this gap. I could fly over this with Charmy, but Charmy can't break the capsules. There is a gravity-defying trick you can perform with the belly flop, allowing you to scale major sections of the level, but the only way to perform it is on an angle like this rail. Unfortunately, this rail is facing a different way than the gap, and it doesn't seem possible to change direction with this trick. You can slightly move up or down, but turning 90 degrees is out of the question. This means we're screwed only 1 minute into the stage. Or are we? Remember how we were able to reach the goal ring in Ocean Palace, skipping the mission objective? Well, what if Team Sonic's goal ring is at the end of this stage? Maybe we could just find a way to the last cannon as Team Chaotix and reach the goal without breaking a single capsule. Well, the major thing stopping us is this terminal section, only accessible by breaking this floor panel with Vector. I hate to admit just how long I spent trying to find a way into this loading zone as Charmy, but I did find something. When you fall off the side, you can actually see the collision for the building end at the same time as you hit the death plane. Maybe if we fly at the perfect time, we can avoid the kill plane and clip into the loading zone down below. Many tries later, we actually did it and somehow ended up in the terminal as Charmy. I was thrilled that this worked, but that feeling didn't last long. Once you reach the end of the train segment, the only possible way to reach the next loading zone is to punch the engine core with Vector. Nothing else works here, not even a team blast, so it looks like we're screwed again. I even did the flight reset enough times to reach outside the box for the terminal section, and I couldn't see any of the stage in sight. It is neat seeing this one train circling, but seeing the rest were stationary. That means the moving trains are just part of an illusion, and it's actually the walls moving in a circle to simulate the trains moving. That's pretty neat to find out, but it doesn't help us here. I opted to watch some speedrun tricks for this stage, and was able to come up with one last idea. I found a task speedrun for the entirety of Team Sonic, and in this stage something interesting happened. There is a glitch in this game that speedrunners perform called the bop boost, where you enter flight mode and stun the speed character before walking off the side of a platform and then flying. Keeping this distance between flight and speed characters will rubber band them together and confuse the game, making you zip through a huge chunk of the level. This trick is very precise and only useful in very specific areas, as you can only go in a straight line and need solid ground to land on once the trick is performed. A normal runner couldn't perform this one in Bullet Station, but Tass is able to do some pretty crazy things. This skip takes you from the very beginning of the stage to the final cannon section that shoots you to the goal ring. Call me crazy, but what if we use Charmy's flight reset glitch to cross the gap? If you look really closely, you can actually see Team Sonic pass by the beginning of Team Chaotix level on the way to the end, giving us a reference of which direction to fly in. So all that leaves us to do is jump off the beginning of the level and fly blindly to the east. 30 minutes later, I finally see the final cannon in the background. So all that's left to do is make my way closer until I can safely drop down on the platform. I used the glitch one last time to clip into this room and was actually able to enter the cannon. This is it! We're actually going to reach the end of the stage with Team Chaotix. Just blow up Eggman's face and... Oh, son of a... Okay, so I basically spent an entire day trying to beat this level just to find out there's no goal ring here. What makes it worse is, I realized since you have to break a number of capsules in the level, if you reach Team Chaotix goal ring in their own section, it just loops you back to the beginning of the stage to find the capsules you missed. So, no matter what, we can't beat Bullet Station. On console, that is. Our talented friend Lummy tinkered with the broken physics on the PC port and was able to perform a super glide with Vector to cross the gap. This glitch works because on the PC version, there isn't a speed cap when gliding. That means that instead of this, we can get this. Using the curve on this rail, you can get just enough momentum to glide far enough to clip into the first cannon room, which blows my mind because I spent all day flying across the map when it really was just this simple. Be sure to break all the capsules before getting inside the cannon. Once you reach the next section, just play as normal, gliding on these fans and hit the switch to open the door with an extra capsule. With Vector, you're able to safely traverse the terminal section with some well-timed belly flops and glides. This one section looks impossible, but Lummy was able to abuse the collision on this wall to get extra speed and glide to the next platform. After that, just enter the bobsled section and break the remaining capsules to beat the stage. This, after so much trial and error, makes Bullet Station possible as Vector only. If you're playing on PC, of course. That's a victory in my book, and again, huge thanks to Lummy for helping me with this challenge and crossing yet another level off the list. If we keep this up, we may just beat out Team Sonic's run. After that mayhem, the Egg Albatross doesn't stand a chance against Vector. This doesn't have much to do with the challenge, but just a tip for new players having trouble with this boss. You actually don't have to chase him across this runway and struggle with the grinding and split pathways. You can actually just sit still and have Eggman come to you, making this fight much less stressful. Just jump against his hitbox and fire dunk to take him down. Frog Forest seems like it would be a pretty easy clear for Espio, but there's just one issue. You can safely make it through most of the level, just Rocket Excel jumping over this gap and turning invisible as to not get detected by the frogs. It's just once we reach this section, there's no way to get high enough with Espio to reach the upper platforms. Since we need Espio's tornado to grab the flowers, our only hope is gonna be, yeah, you guessed it, Charmy. With Charmy, you'll have to jump around the frogs to not get noticed, but other than that, just complete the level as you normally would. Fly over the gaps and slow down after this corkscrew because there's a bunch of frogs ahead. When you reach the first flower, you can technically cross this gap without the flight reset if you time everything just right. A neat little trick for extra height and distance is to boost your flight right at the tail end of the meter, so it'll keep your momentum from the boost and removes the height cap from when your meter's active. Unfortunately, we won't be so lucky for the next flower section.
Isn't that the same flower?
Okay, maybe it's the Stockholm Syndrome talking, but Charmy's kind of adorable in this game, right? It's not just me. This gap is huge, and our only way to cross is with the flight reset glitch, meaning about another 10 to 15 minutes of this. I'm fine. Everything's fine. We can safely land on these platforms below and make our way to the goal ring. Just be sure to fly around these frogs or you'll have to do the entire skip again. Surprise, surprise, Frog Forest is beatable as Charmy only. Maybe I should have just made this a Charmy only challenge. Lost Jungle's mission is to collect 10 Chao. This is another easy one with Charmy. There's more than 10 Chao in the level, but a lot of them are pretty well hidden, so here's the ones I got. There's one at the start when you kill this robot. Then there's two on this platforming section. There's one in these crates. Then one protected by the robot with a hidden one on the side. One on this mushroom. One on this platform. Grab this guy up here on the plant. And lastly, kill this enemy to get the 10th one, making Lost Jungle possible without your teammates. Team Rose is kind of funny, because it's the only dispute that connects with the actual game. You were just collecting Chao in Lost Jungle, so Team Rose thinks you've kidnapped their Lost Chao. So you're probably thinking, well, another team battle, so just spam the tornado and win. Well, no. This time, belly flop. Apparently, the next frame of your attack carries over when you restart the fight. So just pause one frame before hitting the ground where Team Rose spawns, and they'll fall off the stage before the fight even begins. God, I love this game. Hang Castle, another level that stopped me dead in my tracks with Team Sonic, all because of this dumb switch that Sonic refused to pull. Our biggest issue here is you have to collect all 10 keys in the stage, meaning you can't miss one. Vector can't reach certain sections of the level, same with Espio, and Charmy can't break this wall to collect the 9th key. If we're gonna beat this one, we need to think outside the box, and I mean that pretty literally. The first 8 were pretty easy to get, but the last 2 seem impossible, as Charmy can't break the wall, and he also can't pull this switch that allows us to reach the last key. I realized we end up near the end of Team Sonic's level when we take this flower, so I flew across the gap only to find a rock blocking our way. Luckily, flying high enough and pushing into the side of the wall will actually let us clip through and reach the final section. Just run down the castle and... oh, this is Team Dark's section. Interesting. I figured it was over when I heard the goal ring behind this door and... oh, that's right. Well, because Team Chaotix mission is to collect a certain number of items, that means that the goal rings are programmed to start you from the beginning to collect the rest. Okay, I didn't come all this way to let Hang Castle stop me again. I want my revenge. So, in order to pass the door that leads to the 9th key, you'll have to break the wall with Vector to hit a switch. This means we have to abuse the flight glitch to get over this massive wall. I attempted to land on this side roof and noticed, oh, there's no collision here. Since the key is inside of this wall, maybe I could clip through from behind to collect it. So I flew, and flew, and flew, and eventually made it around this invisible wall, and was just barely able to clip inside. Oh my god, we actually grabbed the key and... oh. Okay, so let's save that key for last this time, shall we? All I need to do is figure out how to get the last one inside the castle. What you're supposed to do is pull this switch that opens the crate, allowing you to flip the castle upside down and retrieve the last key. Well, in order to get to this point, you already had to flip the castle upside down to begin with before going inside. Maybe if we just don't hit the first altar, we can fly high enough to enter the hole in the side of the wall. From that point, just fall down to the floor and... there it is! Okay, so now all we have to do is get back to the last key. We backtrack to the last section and perform the same flight glitch to get out of bounds, then just swoop down and collect our 10th key, making Hang Castle, by some miracle, possible as Charmy only. While Hang Castle was a smashing success, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say Mystic Mansion is an immediate flop. You need SBO to blow out these torches, and there's no alternative. As soon as you get in the second room, there's a target switch needed to get to the next area, which only Charmy can hit. One interesting thing is, if you abuse the flight glitch to reach Team Sonic's final section, there's actually dialogue for Team Chaotix. Even weirder is, this section's completely unchanged from Team Sonic's, so it must have been planned for the Chaotix, but cut super early in development. Of course, because this is a mission with a target, the goal ring just takes us back to the start. So it looks like because of the torches, this level's a dead stop immediately. Hell, even reaching out to the goat Lummy, there's just no way to beat this level, as you need SBO for the torches, and SBO can't do most of this. Mystic Mansion, your music is awesome, so I'm cutting you some slack, but we were so close to the end. This level for Team Chaotix is arguably the worst in the game, and this challenge just cemented that fact. Robot Storm was a bit of a hassle with Team Sonic, as we couldn't use Knuckles due to this cannon. You have to enter it with Sonic or Tails to reach the next section, as Knuckles only nets you some rings and there's no way to make the cannon shoot farther. Same applies here with Vector, but also there's a section that requires him to use the cannon to kill these enemies far away. SBO can't reach them, and a Team Blast doesn't work either. This means we can only beat the boss with Charmy. Yay. Luckily, once you build a Team Blast, you can essentially spam them over and over again since the ring bonuses fill your meter again. Once you get to those faraway robots, just thunder shoot them individually. We are very lucky that level 0 Charmy kills these planes, and that the other robots die after falling out of the air. Just Team Blast your way to the end and we can move on to the final levels. Okay, so Egg Fleet is intended to be an SBO-heavy stage, as you need to go invisible to avoid being noticed by the enemies and need to pass through these laser gates. Also, I remember Egg Fleet having multiple propeller segments, so unless we want to abuse the flight glitch for hours here, SBO's our best bet. At least, that's what I thought, until I came up on this part, literally 15 seconds into the level. For some reason, the tornado pole is gone, and our only option is to fly. Even getting extra height from these... thingies, you can't reach, as SBO can't do the tornado jump. Guess we'll have to try our luck with Charmy, but routing the death planes and navigating the propeller segments could take literal days. Some notable tricks here are just to use the flight boost to pass the lasers, reach the top of these walls, and fly to the top path. You can't be noticed by the enemies, so jump around them and use the flight boost again to pass through these doors, and then we come up on the first propeller oh. Okay, I forgot they replaced the propellers with these flower teleports. That actually works perfectly for us, since we already needed to use Charmy anyway. Just keep moving, avoid being spotted by the enemies, and use your flight boost glitch to keep skipping the doors. I was really worried there would still be a propeller at the end, but no. This flower literally takes you inside the battleship. All that's left here is to Team Blast this enemy so he doesn't notice you, and make your way to the goal. Okay, wow, I was actually expecting to spend days on this level trying to figure out how to fly across those gaps in Team Sonic's version, but turns out there wasn't a single propeller segment for the Chaotix. Maybe the game feels bad for all that it's put me through so far, but we're not done yet. We have one last level. Considering Final Fortress is, well, the final level, you'd think it'd be the hardest for the Chaotix, so what's the mission here? Kill all 100 enemies? Blow out 10,000 torches? Well, no, actually. This is one of the easiest levels in the game. You just have to collect 5 keys, and there's plenty more than that in the stage. Let's see if anyone else can beat this besides Charmy. Okay, so SBO can't, and Vector also can't. Of course. So, with Charmy, build a Team Blast and kill these enemies to grab the first key. Use the flight glitch to reach the top path for the second, Team Blast this armored robot for the third one. Fly over these gaps and then use the glitch again to reach this hidden platform for the fourth, and finally, kill this enemy and open the door to collect the last key. Well, Charmy, since you want to be the star of the show, go ahead and take down the Egg Emperor by yourself then. This fight is exactly the same as with Team Sonic. Collect both flight power-ups on the path and abuse your Thunder Shoot, and enjoy the ironically timed voice lines from Eggman.
I won't go down that easy. Defeated? Impossible! No!
And that's it! Whew, what a challenge. Despite being much more complicated than Team Sonic, the Chaotix actually did better. If we count the PC version for Bullet Station, that means every level besides Mystic Mansion can be beat without swapping characters, making Team Chaotix the frontrunner of the Teamless Challenge so far. To congratulate our success, let's celebrate with a little song. Can you guys sing?
Born in the darkness to live in the darkness, that's the ninja's creed.
Oh, that was good, guys. Yeah. Maybe stick to being detectives, though. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end, and watching as Charmy annoyed me so much I actually ended up liking him. Also, huge thanks to Lummy again for helping me out with this challenge and making Bullet Station possible. Definitely go check out their channel if you haven't already. Also, after this video is posted, I'll be making a poll on my channel post to see which team you guys want me to do next for this challenge. And if you haven't by now, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and checking out my other content. And remember, I'm not a Sonic channel. See you guys next time.